here. Section 8.4, quadratic forms. Okay. Quadratic form is a polynomial, each of whose term is quadratic. Okay. Here, symmetric matrix plays an important role in analyzing quadratic form. So in this section, we study how diagonalization of a symmetric matrix can be applied to analyze quadratic forms. Here, the implicit equation in variables x and y for a quadratic curve can be expressed as this, like this. Okay, square terms and the linear terms and the scalar. This can be written as this. Okay, if you multiply this, this won't be exactly like this. This can be written as a 1 by 2 matrix and 2 by 1 matrix, like this. So we call this is a matrix vector form of this quadratic curve equation. Okay, this is a matrix vector form. Graph of quadratic curve, which is a conic section that you saw there, that you see here. The following are type of conic sections: non-degenerate conic sections and degenerate conic sections and imaginary conic sections. First, non-degenerate conic sections are the circle, ellipse, and hyperbola and parabola, as you see here. Circle, ellipse, and hyperbola, parabola, hyperbola, hyperbola, parabola here. Next, degenerate conic section. The graph of equation one is 1 point or one line, a pair of lines, or having no point. This is the case that when the graph meets on here at 1 point, or just line like this here, or 2 lines here and here like this. Okay. So there's a very special case. Actually, these are the cases that you already learned in the high school years. The 1 point or just lines and 2 lines, and those are the so degenerate case is a very simple case. Next, imaginary conic section. This is the case there is no point that satisfies the equation. So this is just imaginary. So you don't have to think about it in here. Now, the most important part is this non-degenerate conic section case. Circle, ellipse, parabola, and hyperbola, as you see in here. These are the examples. Ellipse has this standard form. Hyperbola has this standard form. This minus with plus or minus. Okay. And parabola is one looks like this. Y is equal to ax, y square is equal to ax, or x square equal to ay. And these are the parabola. So we will concentrate our study on this, relating to the eigenvalues of the matrix in quadratic form. First, non-degenerate conic sections. You see, 9x squared plus 4y squared minus 144 equals 0 can be written as, here there was an errata. This is x squared over 4 squared plus y squared over 6 squared. This is 36 is equal to 1. I think I fixed it in here. 47. Here, this equation, 9x squared plus 4y squared minus 144 is equal to 0, can be written as this. So this is the equation for an ellipse. And if you have 9x squared minus 4y squared plus 144 is equal to 0, then it has a standard form of this, which is x squared over 4 squared minus y squared over 6 squared is equal to minus 1. And this is this represents the graph of hyperbola. And y squared plus 3x is equal to 0 can be written as y squared is equal to minus 3x in the standard form. So the graph is a parabola. If you copy this, if you copy this, command, and then go here and paste it, then this is the function 9x squared plus 4y squared minus 144 is equal to 0, and you will have what? You will have the same graphs. Actually, that graph was made with this. If you change the numbers here, then you will see the different graphs and different graphs that you see. Anyway, okay. Okay. Anyway, so whatever you have here, then you will, if you write it in a standard form, then you will characterize whether it is an ellipse or parabola or hyperbola. Okay. 즉 옛날에는 이걸 그림 그리기가 어려웠죠. 그러니까 이렇게 형식을 꼭 바꿔서 아이겐밸류 찾아서 그림을 그렸거든. 근데 지금은 사실은 이렇게 명령어만 주면 바로 그림을 그려주지. 그러니까 전에는 뭐 이론을 전개하려면 어떻게 생겼는지 자기가 생각을 하고 그 다음 넘어가야 됐으니까 손으로 계산을 많이 해야 되지만 지금은 훨씬 편해진 거죠, 여러분들. So before it was much more important to understand this, but now it was much easier. That's why we are learning in a different way. Next, degenerate conic section case. The graph of x squared is equal to 0 is the y-axis. Okay, this is y-axis. The graph of x squared minus 9 is equal to 0 consists with y is equal to 3 and y is equal to minus 3. Two horizontal lines. X squared minus y squared is equal to 0. This is also special case. So we call it a degenerate case. The line, this is the line y is equal to x and y is equal to minus x are representing the graph of this. The graph of x squared plus y squared is equal to 0 is just the origin, 1 point. Then graph of x squared plus y squared plus 1 is equal to 0. It has no point. So there's no. So these are the special cases that you already have learned in high school years. So this is called the degenerate case. So we don't concern about degenerate case because you already know. We concern about non-degenerate case in this section. The graph of quadratic equation with both x squared and x terms, or both y squared and y terms, is just the translation of a conic section in the standard position. Okay? For example, if you have this, then this can be written in this way, simplified. This is a completing square that you already learned in middle school years. Completing square, like this. Then if you substitute this x minus 3 is x prime and y minus 1 is equal to y prime, then in the new x prime, y prime axis, you have this equation in the standard form. So this is what? This is a hyperbola. Okay? The example. So the graph, you can easily draw the graph of this hyperbola like this. This is a hyperbola in the new axis. And then move it to 3 units on x-axis and 1 unit to y-axis. Then this is what you have in original xy axis. Okay? 무슨 말인지 알죠? 그러니까 이렇게 크로싱 텀이 없이 x 스퀘어하고 x, y 스퀘어하고 y 있는 것들은 별 문제가 아니라는 거죠. 그냥 치환만 하면 다 이렇게 바뀌어지니까 그냥 x축으로 몇만큼 옮기고 y축으로 얼마큼만 옮기면 언제나 이렇게 되니까 이 리니어 텀은 아무것도 문제가 아니라는 거예요. 그러니까 다 스탠다드 폼으로 금방 바뀌어진다는 거지. 스탠다드 폼으로만 바뀌어지면 you know how it looks like if it is in the standard form in the new axis. So this is very easy. We know now. We know how we can handle such a problems. So we now define this part. This part, the linear part is easy, so we don't have to worry about it. So we only concentrate on this quadratic part. So this part can be written as this with a matrix form. So we call this is a quadratic form of a quadratic equation. Okay. This is a quadratic form of the equation 1, which was a quadratic equation. So quadratic equation, this and this are in quadratic forms. But here this is not in the quadratic form because it has just the minus 3x and constant term. If we have this, this is not in the quadratic form. So we resubstitute it, so delete, so move this out, and then we only concentrate on quadratic form in a new axis. That's the way. So this quadratic form can be written as x transpose AX. For example, this can be written as this, or this. So the matrix in the quadratic form, this matrix may not be unique. The same equation, same quadratic equation can be written in these two different ways. But we know every quadratic equation like this can be written in this way. If we choose this 1,2 entry as C over 2, and this 2,1 entry as a C over 2. Instead of choosing this, if we choose in this way, if we have a -2, then -1 here and -1 here. If we choose this, then we can always like this. Whenever we have a C, then if we like this. Whenever we have a D, E, and F, then we can have D over 2, E over 2, and F over 2 is here. Then this should have the same, which means every quadratic equations like this can be written in a quadratic form with a symmetric matrix, which is orthogonally diagonalizable. That's very important. Asan, you understand? So every quadratic form can be written in a quadratic equation can be written as a quadratic form with symmetric matrix, which is orthogonally diagonalizable. Okay? Which you learned in section 8.3. Very important. Now, we have a definition. So A, if A is a symmetric matrix of order n, and X is a vector, then Q of X, which is inner product of AX and X, which can be written as X transpose AX, can be written like, this can be written like this, which, as you see in here, this can be written in this way. When you have more variables. And this called quadratic form in Rn. This form, and this form, and this form is called the quadratic form in Rn. Okay. This should be new to you, and this is very interesting. 요즘 얘기하는 그 인공지능, 뉴럴 네트워크 이런 거 있죠? 그저 알파고가 엊그저께 커제를 그냥 쉽게 이겨버렸죠. 거기서 쓰는 그런 테크닉들, 예를 들어서 서포트 벡터 머신, 또 K 니어리스트 네이버스 알고리즘, 클래시피케이션 그런 것들을 이제 사용해서 딥러닝을 테크닉을 사용해서 하는데 그때 쓰는 게 다 이 모양이에요. 다 이 모양. 이런 이퀘이션들을 이용해서 그래서 해를 구해 가지고 이제 다음 무브를 생각하는 거예요. 그러니까 you will see this form quite often in your careers. So for a quadratic form x and y in x and y, and the xy term is called the cross product term. Cross product term. Okay. xy term is called the cross product term. Using orthogonal diagonalization, we can eliminate these cross product terms. Okay. Cross product. You have a symmetric matrix like this. Okay? These are this comes from a cross product. These are cross product terms. This comes from a cross product terms like this, isn't it? If you find the orthogonally diagonal, since this matrix is orthogonally diagonalizable, you can always find the similar matrix, similar diagonal matrix, which is orthogonally similar to this matrix. Which means you can easily have a diagonal matrix without any crossing term by using the similarity. That's the whole idea. 무슨 말인지 하죠? 여기서 이 행렬이 만약에 대각선 행렬이라 그러면 이게 없는 거잖아. 그러면 얼마나 간단해. 근데 여러분들은 이걸 대각선 이게 올소고날 행렬이기 때문에 이게 올소고날리 시밀러한 대각선 행렬을 찾을 수 있죠, 언제나. 그쵸? 그렇지? 그러면 이거를 생각하지 않고 이거하고 닮으면, 올소고날리 닮으면 대각선 행렬로 바꿔서 모든 문제를 풀면 그럼 간단하지 않겠어? That's the whole idea of you are learning the similarity and orthogonal diagonalizable. So, yes? Questions? Okay, so this is a symmetric matrix, very important. So, yeah, we have this form, and we can, by using the orthogonal diagonalization, we can eliminate these cross product terms. Here is the method. For a quadratic form of this, with the cross product term here, and so then we can find the matrix A, which is this. A and C are diagonal entries, and we have 2B, so here and B are here. So this is a matrix comes from this quadratic form, always. Then we can find an orthogonal eigenvectors V1 and V2 because this is a symmetric matrix. Okay, so we find eigenvalues on lambda and lambda 2 and corresponding also normal eigenvectors V1 and V2. Then form an orthogonal matrix P. Then P transpose AP should be this matrix, diagonal matrix, whose diagonal entries are eigenvalues. So we can switch the role of V1 and V2 by switching the role of lambda 1 and lambda 2. If we change this, then column vectors are switched. Okay, this orthogonal matrix may have determinant 1 or minus 1. So, so we can always do the same thing in the same manner. So without loss of generality, we can assume determinant of P is equal to 1. So now we can consider P as a rotation matrix in R2. In R2, if we have orthogonal matrix, then this linear transformation is always a rotation matrix in R2 because the length is same. In R2, one vector moves to another vector, the lengths are same, then it should be just rotation. So this rotation matrix. So let X is equal to Px prime for a new axis X prime, like this. Okay? If X is equal to Px prime for new axis X prime, Y prime, axis, then Q of X can be written as this. Then X is equal to Px prime, like this. So we can write X prime transpose times P transpose AP, P times X prime. So P transpose AP is a diagonal matrix like this, whose main diagonal entries are eigenvalues. So this can be written as this. So Q of X can be written with this, with diagonal entries, which is the eigenvalues of the matrix A comes from this quadratic form. From here, the matrix eigenvalues are here. So this Q of X is exactly same as this in new axis X prime. Okay? So this quadratic form Q of X without this has no cross product terms at all. Much simpler. Okay? Then we can easily consider the nature of this, behavior of this. From here we can easily see whether it is an ellipse or a hyperbola or a parabola by just looking at these values, which is the eigenvalues. So if we have a matrix, if we have a quadratic form, then we have a matrix. Then we can find the eigenvalue. Then from those eigenvalues, we can see whether the quadratic equation is an ellipse or a parabola or hyperbola. Here is the summarize. Suppose the symmetric matrix A has a lambda 1 and lambda 2 as an eigenvalues. By rotating the coordinate axis, then the quadratic form Q of X is equal to X transpose AX can be written in the new X prime, Y prime coordinate system. Q of X is this, like what you saw. Okay? Here, the matrix, the determinant of matrix P is 1, and P diagonalize A. And the rotation can be obtained by X is equal to Px prime, or P transpose X is equal to X prime, because P is an orthogonal matrix. So this P inverse is P transpose. Okay, this is the key idea. Then, using the diagonalization of the quadratic form, then determine which conic section the following quadratic form describes here. From here, we can rewrite it in this way, in quadratic form. So we have a matrix, symmetric matrix. Here, 3 and 3s are here, A and C, and 2 is here, so half of this, 1 and 1s are here. This is a matrix A. This matrix is a symmetry matrix whose eigenvalues are 2 and 4. Okay? So we can, and this is a symmetric matrix and distinct eigenvalues, so we have a 2 orthogonal matrix already. Then we normalize it, then we have an eigenvalue here and eigenvector here. So here is orthogonal eigenvalues, eigenvectors, then normalize it, then we have also normal eigenvectors V1 and V2. From here we can form a matrix P whose columns are orthonormal vectors, which is this. And then P inverse is just P transpose. With this P, this Q of X can be written as this. Eigenvalue 2 and 4 are here. And so it can be written in this way, which means this is a ellipse in a new coordinate system, X prime, Y prime coordinate. And this new coordinate system is obtained by what? This. X prime is equal to just multiply the P transpose on X, Y. Then in this axis, which means this, which is a rotation of 45 degrees. And in this axis, that is an ellipse. So it all comes from what? Eigenvalues and a matrix P. That's it. From, okay, this tool that we made shows you how to simulate the quadratic forms. Next, sketch the following quadratic form here. This one. Okay, here, let's concentrate on this first here. So matrix A is 36, 34 here, and 41 is here, and half of this, which is minus 12, is here and here. So we have this matrix, which is symmetry. Then this equation can be written in this way, and the eigenvalues of this is 25 and 50. So we can find the orthogonal matrices, orthogonal vectors corresponding these two distinct eigenvalues, and then normalize it. Then we have orthogonal matrix P like this. Then new axis can be found with this matrix. And we have eigenvalues 25 and 50 here. So quadratic form can be written in this way, and we know this is an ellipse in new coordinate system X prime and Y prime. Okay? That's it. So this is an ellipse. And next, it's done now. And then we still have these terms. So we substitute this once more by translation, horizontal translation. And then we can easily make a completing square term here, which make X prime minus 1 square is same. Then what's left in here is this term. This is square terms and 50 here. So what this means is if we let X double prime is equal to X prime minus Y, then it's new coordinate system, X double prime and Y prime coordinate system. This can be written in this way. So this says this is an ellipse in a new coordinate system, which has been rotated and translated. Okay? So this is it. This goes to translated and rotated like this. Okay. The original one was an ellipse on the new axis, and then it has been rotated and translated and rotated to draw on the right coordinate. Okay. I think that's it. I think that's the end. Oh, no, not yet. Here, surface in three-dimensional space. Okay, now this is new to you. G is equal to ax squared plus 2bxy plus cy squared. Then, this part, after matrix diagonalization, can be written as this, with the eigenvalues lambda 1 and lambda 2. Okay? So, when G moves, G changes here. If G is equal to 1, then it is an ellipse. If G is equal to 2, a bigger ellipse. If G is 3, G is 5, then it's going to be an ellipse. If G is equal to 0, then it should be a point. So this equation gives us a cone like this. As G moves, G increase. If G goes negative, then it goes like this. Okay? So this gives this equation gives us equation gives us an elliptic paraboloid like a cone that you see in here. Okay? Here, if lambda 1 and lambda 2 are non-zero but has a different sign, then what happens? If lambda 1 and lambda 2 are positive, then we have this. If lambda 1 and lambda 2 are non-negative and have a different sign, then what happens? It should be like this. One axis is like this, the other axis in the other direction. So it's a saddle point. If one of these lambda is 0, then graph, and the other is not 0, then what it will be looks like? Like this. This is a parabolic cylinder. If one of lambda 1 and lambda 2 is 0 and the other is not 0, then we will have these forms. So let's show the graph of the following equation. Is an elliptic paraboloid and sketch its cross section at G is equal to 50. Okay, so we think about this graph and also the sketch is cross section when G is equal to 50. So this form can be written in this way. So we have a symmetric matrix. So we have two eigenvalues 25 and 50. And we have corresponding orthonormal eigenvectors here. And so we have a new axis here with x is equal to px prime with this orthogonal matrix P, whose column vectors are orthonormal eigenvectors of A. And we have this. So this is what? This is this form is 25 and 25, they're all positive. So it should look like this, which is an elliptic paraboloid. And if G is equal to 50, what happened? If G is equal to 50, let G is equal to 50. So this can be obtained in this way. Okay. Here, at G is equal to 50, then we have what? This equation. Simply. Then this we can draw the graph here. This is just the rotation in the new axis, new axis, x prime and y prime, which was decided by this P matrix, which is a rotation of this angle. Now from here, this value gives you the angle. Zeta is arctangent 3/4. Here. And you can draw the graph. You have a code here. So you have a matrix. You can easily find the matrix, and you can find the eigenvalues easily. Okay? You can find the eigenvectors. So you can find also, you can normalize these eigenvectors. Then you can use a Gram-Schmidt orthonormalization process on those two linear independent orthogonal vectors. Then you can find the matrix P, orthogonal matrix P. Okay, and then you can also draw the sketch of the graph with these rotations and etc. So you can draw the two graphs like this, what you have found by your hand. I think that's the end of section 8.4. And for section 8.5 is with the star. And here you have, you can find my lectures on here, on there, and also you can find this homepage, which shows the application of quadratic forms. In here, you will see much more information. But the exam will not cover this. But here, as you see, if you have these quadratic equations, then you can find the quadratic form of this, okay, like this, with matrix A. With this matrix, you can find the eigenvalues, and you can find the eigenvectors. And from here, you will see how it looks like here. The surface it should be looks like here. This gives you, this is the surface that you found If you change the condition, then you will find the different shapes. And also you can download these images. So whenever you want to draw the graph, then you can draw the, you can give whenever you have a new equation, then you can change the coefficient here and there, and to have a symmetric matrix, then you can have the eigenvalues like this, and then you can draw the graph. Important thing is, this is the three-dimensional images. You can download these graphs. So you can do many other things. And all the graphs that images here, that's the one that I made with this. And also, I made the code to generate the stereolithographic file from these images. And so I can also download the STL files from this graph. So I can draw, I can use my 3D printer to print out this. So I was able to print out those with these equations, with this code. So I think, and also this make you a lot, this gives you, I think this is the ones that you have learned in calculus, where it has a local maximum and local minimum and those things. And this also can be done in here by just giving anything of what you like to do. And not only 2 variables, but 3, 4, 5 variables. You can do everything here. So this covers what you have learned in calculus. This is why you learned the calculus before the linear algebra class. And with this knowledge, you can do many other things in engineering and science, other sciences. So we covered up to this, then we will continue the singular value decomposition, one of the most important concepts of linear algebra now in 21st century. Any questions? Okay, class dismissed.